Welcome to my quick course on golf mastery. This is part 2. You are familiar with the installation phase as it happens whenever you take lessons, watch the game being played, view videos, and even read manuals and books. However, I want to take this much further. What you want is volume. The more expert level material that you feed your brain, the quicker the installation process will occur. It also helps the next step, which involves the encoding process. However, here's the problem. This takes time and probably a lot of money. If you don't have an unlimited supply of both, then your goal of eventually mastering the sport is most likely doomed. That is, unless you finish this course. The trick here is to put as much into your brain as rapidly as you can. The reason for this is that learning anything is exponential. The more that you install, the faster that you will pick up even more. One of the things that I am excited about is the discovery of special brain cells called mirror neurons. These are located throughout your brain. I find that they are one of the true secrets to rapidly achieving mastery. What mirror neurons do for you is that they increase the value of observation. When you observe expert performance, these brain cells lead to your brain activating the appropriate pathways. According to the use it or lose it principle, when you activate parts of your brain by using them, they tend to get stronger. Remember that this is what I called creating competence. Another gem that I wish to share with you involves meaning and understanding. Your brain naturally translates what you experience through your senses into relevance. The good news is that since birth, this process has occurred naturally. This means that you don't even have to try to learn. All you have to do is observe. Let your brain do the rest. If you don't believe me, just watch an infant learn, and you will never argue that point again. All that you have to learn to do is get out of your own way. After you have installed massive amounts of stuff about golf, then what's next? By the way, when I teach my clinical students, I call this relevant information pattern components because all the information you have absorbed are merely components of patterns. Again, you don't need to understand this. Remember that as you view this course, all you have to do is observe and let your mind sort it out. The goal of this step is merely to develop thicker brain parts so that competency becomes the result. Here's a few ideas that I've found to be very potent. First, always see yourself performing the process or skill as if you are experiencing it personally. Although you are watching an expert, in your mind imagine that you are the one doing it. Secondly, engage all of your senses as intensely as possible. As you watch a pro getting out of a sand trap, imagine what it would feel like, sound like, look like, and even taste or smell like. And third, learn to experience every aspect of the game as if it is occurring in what I call personal space. What is personal space? Our brain is designed to react more efficiently to anything that we perceive to be within our reach. This is part of our defense mechanism. However, as humans, our personal space is not limited to our reach. Our golf clubs extend our space. And when we mentally imagine the target hole on the green, that too becomes part of our sense of personal space. You probably see where I'm going with this. Of course, practice helps develop your mental muscle, and so does observation of expert performance. But the real bonus is that all you have to do is think about expert performance, and you activate the same cells in your brain. This is why mental rehearsal is so powerful as a tool to rapidly achieve competency. I want you to reconsider how you look at your concept of mental rehearsal. Realize that this process occurs during practice, while reading golf books and viewing videos, and even while getting expert instruction from a pro. So mental rehearsal is much more than just closing your eyes and imagining playing. In fact, you will find this to be your most efficient tool, but I'll speak more on that in just a moment. And now the final of the 3 mastery steps. Once you've installed the required information and further encoded it into your brain through mental rehearsal, the next task is to learn how to recall it when needed. What I like doing is creating effective triggers that, when used immediately, bring back the wealth of resources that you've just ingested into your mind. Your expert state can be instantly brought back by a word, a phrase, touching your lucky rabbit's foot, or even a thought. The real task here is knowing how to create these triggers and how to fire them. You probably realize that these 3 steps don't need to be considered as being separate. When you are installing, you are creating new neural networks and starting the encoding or thickening process. When you are encoding, you are also installing. And when you trigger a recall, you further enhance your encoding. Actually, it's a pretty efficient system. I want to conclude this course by explaining how you can get onto the fast track toward achieving excellence. If observing expert performance is a great installation and encoding tool, there is an even more powerful one. That is the use of mental imagery. When you combine practice with a visualization program, your installation and encoding efforts greatly accelerate. This means that when you learn to effectively imagine a process, this results in your brain changing extremely rapidly. Just imagine for a moment that you can spend your lunch break playing 18 holes in your head. This is not as impossible as you may think. Your brain does not always work in real time. Have you ever anxiously waited for someone and felt like time just dragged on? Or, when you are engrossed in your game, does it seem like time flies? If so, you've realized the power of time distortion. I see this every day in my clinical practice. And when you learn techniques that allow you to increase the value of this accelerated programming of your mind, you realize that in a very short time, you can receive the benefit of hours of practice in just a few minutes. This is tremendously powerful. This is something that most talented hypnotists and hypnotherapists have always known. As the developer of the emerging field of advanced neuronoetic hypnosis, I've developed a library of extremely powerful and unique sessions that can greatly assist with your mastery of the game of golf. These include my Teeing Off Expertly session, which is designed to employ these principles to accelerate the development of a masterful golf swing. This process continues with my masterful chipping and pitching session, which is sure to help your short game. Of course, where would golf be without those pesky hazards? My Negotiating Hazards with Ease session recognizes that sand traps, the rough, and water obstacles divide amateurs from the pros. And then I recognize the special talents needed to become a competent putter. My Perfect Putting session fills that need. I finish off this golf library with a title which is probably one of the best that we have ever produced. This is our Golf Like the Pros session. Thanks for viewing my quick course on the mastery of golf. I hope that you've enjoyed watching and listening to it as much as I've enjoyed putting it together. By the way, if you are interested, I provide a wide range of over 100 self-improvement titles on my www.timbrunson.com site.